Peace everybody, Wellness Guru back at y'all again, coming at y'all with another video. Gotta keep it consistent for y'all, you know. I'm not gonna get into coping with trauma this video. I'm waiting. I'm gonna partner with somebody for that video, but it will be up real soon. This video in particular was suggested to me by a very good friend, and they suggested I go more in depth with my foster care story. I know it's a lot of kids that's in foster care currently, or kids that might be considering it for some reason, or just whatever. I just want to share the story. I really like doing these stories with y'all. It's really like a form to help me heal and help me, you know, really connect with the audience and really get my story out there. You know, a lot of people never heard this story besides people that really know me close, know me personally. I either told you, but other than that, a lot of people don't really know this. I never really tell a lot of people. But doing this is like a video diary for me. So I really enjoy like really telling y'all these stories and really talking to y'all. So I'm excited to just share and be able to have a platform and an audience to tell my story too. It really makes a difference. I'm really very appreciative for it, and it means a lot to me. So without further ado, let's get right to it. So story of my foster care story. It all started when I was in 6th grade at the 6th grade graduation party. If you've seen my previous video, then you already know a little bit about it. So I went in the fall. My mom had the graduation party. I got poisoned. I was in the hospital, and I went straight to foster care. Now, when I got to this lady house, everything was peaches and cream. I mean, the first few weeks, first couple weeks, everything was beautiful. I was eating multiple meals every day. All types of different food. Everything was beautiful. She was treating me, embracing me like her own. It made me feel really at home. Everything was great. Being as though I came in the summertime, she started to take more trips a lot. So who was feeding us? So she'd leave for hours and hours at a time, sometimes pop in here and there, put one of the other kids responsible for feeding us. That ain't really work out too well. Or, you know, just give us some snacks and go on about her business. Summertime, people want to travel, right? So the very next time I seen her, I had asked her about like what time we be eating, because I remember one time in particular, me and my brother was in a room for like 20, we was in a room for like 20 something hours, just playing a game all day. I don't think I'm sure we really didn't eat that day. So I asked her, you know, I come from a home where we eat all the time, we get what we want, snacks, whatever. So I asked her about what time we would be eating, and she said, "You listen to me, motherfucker. Dinner, what she said, you listen to me, motherfucker. Breakfast is at 9, lunch is at 1, and dinner is whenever the fuck I feel like feeding you." So I was like, "Whoa, okay, all right, okay, cool." So as time went on, I really started to see how she really started to change. You know, there's some people that do things because they really love it, and there's some people that do things just to get a check. She was one of the people that was doing it just to get a check, and it really started to become, sorry y'all, it really started to become clear to me why she was doing it, and it was just to get the check. As time went on, I say within that first month and a half, my social worker had checked in to see how things was going. By that point, I could already see things. I could already see that I was about to be living in hell. She made us do unnecessary chores. Had to wash my clothes out on hand, which wasn't a problem, but I had to wash everything out on hand, like a whole load in the tub, which I ain't care, but I kind of did care. And she just was talking to us real nasty. I think that was my biggest problem. So I told my social worker what was going on. I told her not to tell, and she told anyway. lady. That time I didn't get a beating, but she yelled at me a lot. So the second time the same things was going on, I told my social worker again, and I got beat real bad. I'm talking like I still got marks on my hands. Y'all can't see them. I still got a lot of marks on my hands, a lot of marks on my legs from always fighting and getting beat. So, you know, I think let me see, it was 3 other boys in the house, and I was fighting all of them basically. So I had to fight all of them. Second time I told. Third time I told, same thing, even worse. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just stop telling. And I can understand when people get into when people get domestically abused, why they don't want to tell. You just kind of start to accept your fate. And that's where I was at the point. I just felt like I just had to accept it. This is where it was going to be. But I wasn't even 3 months in, so I wasn't sure, you know, if this was a normal behavior or what was going on. Anyway, as time went on, things really didn't get much better. You know, she really had a tendency to take her frustration and her anger out on us. She did things like she did things like humiliate us on a whole nother level. She would try to bribe us to eat. Like prime example, they were big Christians, whatever, the gay couple that I lived with, they were big Christians. She did things like, oh, you better come in here and sing tonight or you ain't gonna get shit to eat. And you better act like you got the Holy Ghost. I was in there crying, doing whatever I had to do to get a meal, man, because it was that rough. It was times where we didn't eat for 7-8 days straight. And those were the times where I had to just pretty much drink water and eat toilet paper just to have the satisfaction of feeling full, because I was so malnourished from not eating anything at all. She had a house church, and most of the time Sundays were the only days we would eat. Like I would go Monday to Saturday straight, and nothing would be in my stomach. So the days I went to school, I eat at school. Problem with that, days I ate at school, she found out if we ate at school, we can't eat at home, which is what her gay lover said. I'm gonna keep their names disclosed. But she basically would say, oh, you ate in school, you're not gonna eat in school and eat in my food. So when we ate at school, we wasn't allowed to eat at home. For whatever dumb reason it was, that's just how she wanted it to go. So that's how it was. So yeah, ate at school, wasn't allowed to eat at home. And she even went as far as like making us throw up to see if our throat was a certain color to see if we ate in school. This lady was nuts. It was terrible, you know. She went as far as giving us cavity searches to see if we were stealing or if we were smuggling anything. Nothing to smuggle. I would eat out the trash because it was that severe. It was plenty of days I ate out the trash. I ain't ashamed to say it. Like, when you get to the point where you're not eating for days and days at a time, you're gonna find some food. Especially you go into your visits with your parents, and the person supposed to be taking care of you is taking the money that your parents is giving you. You know, like my grandma would my mom would send me back with 20, 30, nothing big, a couple dollars, you know, get some snacks, little things I want. She would take all my money, all the money the state was giving me, she was getting from me, and buy cigarettes. So I started taking the money my grandma was giving me and I stuffed it under the sole of my shoe so I could buy little candies and stuff when she sent me to the store. You know, and those were the times that I would eat out the trash. When I was going to the stores, you know, asking anything I can get, I was basically trying to just survive. It's crazy how your mind can adapt, because your mind can adapt to your environment and the situation you're in, because I began to live with the reality and face the facts that I was surely going to die and I wasn't going to make it to the age of 20. The lady was putting knives to my throats on several occasions, and I was really on lockdown. We couldn't even come out the house. The type of chores we had to do, like we had to do multiple times a week. And on top of that, sometimes even multiple times a day. depending on what kind of chore it was. Like when I came home, I was responsible for the living room, feeding and cleaning the bird cage, the dining room, and the kitchen. So basically most of the downstairs. So I had to like do things like wipe the woodworks, vacuum the carpet, and clean the carpet. Mind, I had to clean the carpet with a rag and scrub on my hands and knees and really scrub the carpet. Wiping the walls down. Just some of the chores I never heard of, I never even done before. Like I clean woodworks, but I never wiped the walls down. But hey, that's a thing. One of the chores I really hated that she really made me do, I couldn't believe, was she made me clean the kitchen floor with a toothbrush. That shit took forever. I was cleaning the floor for hours that day and I never finished. And you know what happened when I didn't finish my chores? Stay home from school. I missed like, I say at least 40, 50 days of school. Somehow I still managed to get A's. Don't ask me how, I do not know. But that's the shit we had to do, man. She would humiliate us and bribe us in order to get food. She put us on a dog leash. She'd be like, oh, bark, get on the floor and bark, roll around, do a trick, just so we could eat. Or give me and my brother ultimatums. Oh, if you don't smack your brother, you're not gonna eat today. Little dumb shit like that. Whatever she could for her personal entertainment, you know. One time she even made me get on my hands and knees as if I was a dog, and she put her feet on me, yo. Disrespectful. Like, had me sitting there for hours and hours like I was a footstool. Mind you, I'm like 12, 13 going through all this. Stay up for hours and hours and hours and hours. Most nights I stayed up till 4 or 5 and was not allowed to go to bed, yo. If I wanted to go to bed, she would make up some phony excuse, and then I most likely would find myself not eating for whatever reason. Like I said, it was plenty of times we didn't eat for like 5, 6, 7 days at a time. It was crazy, man, and I just began to mentally break down. Over time, and it was hard to even tell anybody. We was going to therapy at the time, and you just don't say nothing, especially when you keep getting beat for telling people. You just don't want to say anything. You know, it was a point where the dog was getting better treatment than I was. You know, he was eating, going for walks, everything. I couldn't even go for a walk. Like, in the whole 2 years I was there, like, I can only think of, I could probably count on hand how many days I spent outside. It was definitely no more than 5. Talking about summers and winters and everything. Like, we never really went outside. She only bought us clothes because she was forced to, because the clothes had holes. But as far as like my hair, none of this shape up I got, nah, this shit was all rounded off. I wore the same shoes for 2 years straight with holes in them. Just nothing. Like, I wish I had pictures so I could show y'all how I looked back then. I'm gonna definitely see if I can get some, but I mean, she treated us like, not even like a stepchild. Like, she treated us terribly. And I was mad because nothing was happening when I was telling, so it made me just not want to say anything. Just made me not want to say anything. I think the part that hurts me the most is I see how it affected my little brother. I seen how he went from a loving and innocent child to being more stern and quiet, humble, and you don't want to trust anybody no more. And it's kind of affected me away in a little bit too. I know everybody not the same, but it makes you much more observant of people when you go through things like that. It's sad because I really begin to feel as though God turned his back on me, because I didn't feel like any person, you know, I didn't feel like any person deserved that. You know, I wish I could still find my journal. I had a journal I used to write in all the time, and I used to always talk to God and talk to myself. I just really couldn't understand. You know, and for any kid that wants to go to foster care, anybody that's in foster care, I just want to tell you, look, you're not alone. If it's anything that I could do to reach out to speak to you, or any sources, anybody I could put you in touch with, I'm here. And I have sources where as though I could do so. Don't be afraid to speak out and talk about what's going on, because you're not the only one going through it. I've been through it. It's hard to get through it, but you will get through it, and there will be much brighter days. You know, don't give up, keep your head up. And I know that sounds so cliche, but I'm serious. Like, don't think that it's the end of your life. Don't think that it's the end of the road. Don't think that you're being punished by God. Everybody has a reason why they're going through what they're going through. I don't know what that reason is, but everybody has a reason why they're going through it. And you know, looking back at it now, I could say that although at the time I might not have been happy that I was going through it, I might not have understood why I was going through it, but I'm grateful that I went through it and I came out of it alive. I came out of it okay. I'm a nice young man. I do well for myself. I have no complaints. But I also would like to reach back to the kids that's going through it and tell them you're not alone, you know. Don't be scared to say something to somebody. Say something. If I've said something sooner, I would not have been in that situation for 2 years and some change. You understand what I'm saying? Just say something to somebody if you have to. Teachers, whoever, don't stay in that situation if you don't have to. It's not worth it. It's not worth the mental abuse and the mental fatigue you have to go through every day. It's just not worth it, you know. So, you know, just say something to somebody. If you have to journal, do whatever is necessary for your healing. That's it. I just wanted to share this story right quick. Some of it still is pretty hard, so you catch me stumbling. It's really hard to share, but I'm glad I actually have a platform to share with. I hope that somebody's able to relate to this story. I'm gonna be having my email pretty soon in one of these videos for people to reach out. Any questions, concerns, comments, any suggestions on any videos y'all want me to talk about. I got a lot of stories I could tell y'all. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all could relate. I love y'all. Really wanted to share this video with y'all. Y'all have a great day. Peace, wellness, guru. I love y'all.